Hawks lose in a shootout. 4-3 is the final to the Vegas Golden Knights. They lose to a goalie who was kicked out of the NHL for almost 2 years, making his basically new second NHL debut because he hasn't played hockey in over 2 years. The Hawks lose in a shootout. However, the Hawks were the better team on ice. They were generating the chances, getting a high danger goals, other than the fact 2 of the goals that Vegas scored went off our own defense. Spencer Knight played great tonight. You can't fault him on anything that went past him. Shots on goal per period, 8-8 in the first period, 9-10 in favor for your Blackhawks in the second period, 6-9 in favor for Vegas in the third period, 6-2 in overtime in favor for your Blackhawks, and the overtime total shots on goal, 30-28. The Hawks outshot Vegas. They were the better team. They should have won in overtime. They should have won in regulation. It didn't happen. Face-off percentage. The Hawks went 59.6% at the dot. Another key factor to this game, the Hawks went 0 for 5 on the power play. If they didn't go 0 for 5, they would have won this game easily in regulation. They only had 2 shots on goal in the power play. That's not good. That is not good. So there's unacceptable play right there. You're going 0 for 5 on a power play. You're up. You blow it late. And it's frustrating. It is. If you can hear my voice is a little raspy right now, I am dealing with a cold. So we'll see how I last. But, and the first period of play, let's get into this. Vegas gets on the board quick. The Hawks look like they did last game where they gave up a goal very early, win an opening faceoff, lose the puck, and then Vegas goes down the ice at 27 seconds into the first period. Ivan Barbashev scores his 9th of the season, assisted by Bowman and Theodore to make a 1-0 Vegas lead 27 seconds into the game. However, the Hawks answer back fairly quick. At 1:23 in the first period, scored by number 11, Oliver Moore. His 3rd goal of the season, assisted by number 59, Tyler Bertuzzi, and number 91, Frankie Nazar, to get the Hawks tied back up with Vegas. It's 1-1. I should mention this Barbashev goal that went off of Kaiser's skate. Nothing Knight could have done. Nothing really Kaiser could have done because he was defending the person he was supposed to defend. The puck just bounces off his skate into the back of the net. That's how that went. But the goal by Oliver Moore, sniper goal, great pass by Bertuzzi over to Moore, and Moore beats Carter Hart to get this game even right back up. And it remained 1-1 after 1. The back and forth play was mainly the story in that first period of play. Hawks did generate more opportunities in that first period of play. They could have scored, but they didn't. And Vegas was playing kind of heavy on the Hawks. We go into the second period, tied up 1 apiece. Into the second period of play, it was a lot of the same we were seeing in the first. Back and forth play. Hawks had a power play, got killed off. Knights had a power play, that got killed off. And then midway through the second period of play, the Hawks get on the board at 11:22 in the second period. Scored by number 59, Tyler Bertuzzi, his 14th of the season. Unassisted, however, assisted by Vegas's goalie, Carter Hart, because Hart plays the puck And as Bertuzzi tags up, Hart plays the puck. Bertuzzi steals and pokes it right over and down. Hawks are up by 1. Good work by Burt, getting his 14th of the season on a fluky goal, but it's nice to make a guy who got kicked out of the league for 2 years kind of look stupid. However, Vegas does start climbing back. The Hawks had a power play. It got killed off. Vegas was battling, getting opportunities. And well, at 17-19, Braden Hutton scores his third of the season, assisted by Mark Stone to make it a 2-2 game. This goal went off the skate of Matt Grzelcyk and in. So, really, you can't fault Knight. And Grzelcyk was doing what he was supposed to by covering Mark Stone, but the puck just ricocheted weird and went off of Grzelcyk's skate and in, and the Hawks and Golden Knights are tied late into the second period. And then we go into the third period. A lot of the same stuff. But the Hawks were coming out and moving the puck and getting some chances off early. And well, they take advantage. At 4:45 in the third period, scored by number 98, Connor Bedard. His 17th of the season, assisted by number 28, Andre Burakovsky, and number 20, Ryan Green, to make it a 1-goal lead again for your Chicago Blackhawks. And this goal by Bedard was a beauty. He gets it at center ice from a great pass from Burakovsky up, and Bedard goes streaking down the ice. He goes up one-on-one with Theodore. He dekes it back, then goes toe drag release, bar down. Hawks lead by a goal. Great to see Bedard get another goal on the score sheet. However, the Hawks get a power play, gets killed off. Vegas starts getting momentum, moving the puck, getting a lot of chances. Knight was standing strong. But late in the period, Vegas was able to tie the game up at 3 apiece. At 17:32 in the third period, Bowman scores his 5th of the season, assisted by Theodore and Barbashev, to make it a 3-3 game. This goal was just a net crash by Vegas and 3-on-2 basically rush, and Vegas took advantage and a couple rebounds, and Bowman was able to bury it past Knight. Sucks to see that, because the Hawks could have gone up by 2 right before that goal went in, and they didn't. So we now need an overtime. Hawks win the opening faceoff in overtime. Hawks were buzzing, moving the puck, getting a lot of chances off, shooting it left and right, getting opportunities. Donato nearly buried one. Bedard nearly buried one. And Lashunov nearly buried one. Nazar had a good look. Oliver Moore had a good look. The Hawks were moving. They were buzzing, getting a ton of chances off. But they couldn't find the back of the net. And we have to go to a shootout. Into the shootout, Vegas starts off. Well, the Hawks start the shootout off with Teuvo Teravainen. Teuvo goes up the ice. He misses, and a save by Hart. Vegas gets their first shooter, and it was Pavel Dorofeyev, who went in, kind of beat Knight, and it went under his pads and in, and the Hawks are now down by a goal in the shootout. Hawks then go for second shooter, and it was Connor Bedard. Connor Bedard goes up, slows up, kind of speeds up then, and kind of pulls a Patrick Kane heel kick, and then almost a Pavel Datsyukian kind of slow it down and kind of open up the 5-hole on the goalie, and he did, and puts it in. Hawks and Golden Knights are tied in the shootout. However, then Vegas gets their next opportunity, and their next shooter belonged to Jack Eichel, who goes up the ice, and well, Knight makes a big save because Eichel really did not try much of anything to beat Spencer Knight. Next shooter for the Hawks, Ryan Donato. Donato goes up wide, and he beats Hart, but he hits the pads, and Hart saves it. And it's still tied 1 apiece. Next shooter for Vegas, Mitch Marner. Marner goes up and does pretty much the same thing Eichel does, and Spencer Knight makes a big save. Next shooter for your Blackhawks, Frank Nazar. Goes up slow. I thought he could have gone up with some speed, but he didn't. And Knight had a good opportunity, and blocker save, and the Hawks are now down to a chance where Vegas has an opportunity again to win this game. And they do. Shea Theodore goes up and shoots it past Spencer Knight. It's a 3. It ends up being a 4-3 final, and the Hawks lose this thing in a shootout. I hate shootouts. Frankly, they're dumb. They aren't real hockey. It just is a skill competition, and that's how I view shootouts. So down in the comments down below, I want to hear what your thoughts were on tonight's action, and thank you for watching the broadcast. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And most of all, now we have 2 games in LA coming Thursday and Saturday.